Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Gershon here. We're going to continue our work with inflected endings this week. We're going to be changing some nouns from singular to plural, so moving from one noun to more than one of that noun. But we don't actually have the base words here, we only have the plural form of our words. This is a review of what we worked on in grammar earlier in the year, where you're adding either S or ES onto the ends of a base word to make it plural. Now, we did learn earlier in the year that there are certain endings on a base word that require us to add an ES instead of an S. Some of those endings are CH, SH, X, and S. So when any of your base words this week end with a CH, SH, X, or S, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the ending ES if we're changing our noun from a singular to a plural. There is one oddball this week. I don't believe that it's on your sort as an oddball, so when you do your homework tonight, your writing sort might not have that. It does fall under a category, but you're going to listen for the sound difference, and we'll talk about that. So let's go ahead and I'll read through the words with you, and then we'll do a little bit of sorting. So we have benches, guesses, splashes, mixes, voices, kisses, leashes, watches, horses, brushes, scratches, churches, peaches, sketches, changes, places. Last column, foxes, speeches, clothes, crashes, classes, ditches, branches, and ashes. So this week again, I'm going to just stress it's very important to locate the base word in each of these words to identify whether we're adding ES or S to make the noun from a singular to a plural. So I'm going to take a peek right up here at our headers. I'm adding ES or adding S this week. Why don't I do ES in red to start? So I'm looking at my first base word. I'm looking at the word bench. I underline bench, and I'm noticing because it ends in a CH, the rule that I know from grammar, I'm going to add an ES on the end of that word. And you actually hear an added syllable. You hear S on the end, so bench. Well, you hear es, so you hear bench es. So adding es adds a syllable onto that base word of bench. Let's look at our other base word in bold. We have horse. Now, horse is different because horse already ends in an E. So it might look like you're adding an ES, but again, you're not because the base word ends in an E. So in that case, it doesn't follow any of the rules that we see over here to add ES. It doesn't end in CH, SH, X, or S, so we're only adding an S onto that word. It's going to be very beneficial for you to identify what the base word is in each of those words. I do want to look at a couple more that we would add ES to. So I'm looking right underneath bench, and I see guess. Guess ends in an S. So we're adding the ES onto that word. Right underneath that, we have splash. Splash ends in an SH, so we're adding ES. Right under that, we have mix. Mix ends in an X, so we're adding ES. And I think we may have covered all of those special endings where you add ES. Now, I did tell you that there was one oddball this week. As I was saying all of the words, you heard the es sound at the end of each of those words, except for one. That word is clothes, like the clothes that you wear on your body. So that really follows the pattern of just adding an S on the end, but you don't hear the added syllable, so the sound is a little bit different from the rest of the words. You don't necessarily have to put that under an oddball section. You could just put it under the add S section, but I just wanted to identify too that all of the words, all of the base words had an added syllable on the end of them, the "es" sound as you said all of them, except for the word close. All right, I think that we might be all set. I don't think that there are any words that you need help with the meaning of. If I'm incorrect in that and you do need a little bit of help, just raise your hand and I'll come around and I can answer your questions. It's time to grab our scissors and happy sorting.